network topology. In the previous lecture, we discussed about the nest topology and the star topology. So we know the nest topology. In nest topology, every device or every computers are connected to each other, and in star topology, every nodes or every computers are connected to a central device that is called a central hub. So now in today's lecture, we will discuss about the bus topology. So what is bus topology? So it is another type of network topology. So in bus topology, so it is a network type in which every computers and networks device is connected to single cable. So we see that in bus topology, every computers or the nodes or the network devices are connected to a single device, and it transmits the data from one end to another end in single direction. No bidirectional feature is in bus topology. So we see in the picture or in the diagram of bus topology that here every node, this is the node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, every node is connected to a single cable. Single cable, and the cable is known as the backbone coaxial cable. So here every device is connected to a single cable, and the data or the information transmits from one end to the another end in only single directions. No bidirectional flow will be there. No bidirectional features will be in the bus topology. So if a device, suppose node 1 wants to transmit information in node 4, then first it has to transmit the information to this cable, to this coaxial cable, then the node 4 receives the information because host IP address will be there. So based on that address, the node 4 receives the information sent from the node 1 from the coaxial cable. So this is the coaxial cable, and the link or the lines by which the nodes are connected to the coaxial cable is known as the drop lines. So in bus topology with shared backbone cable, the nodes are connected to the channel via drop lines. So we see here that this is the main line, backbone coaxial cable. All the devices are connected to this backbone line, and the lines or the channels through which that nodes are connected to these lines is known as the drop lines. So these are all of the drop lines, and this is the main backbone coaxial cable, and this is the transmitter. So now we will see some advantages and disadvantages of this bus topology. So if n devices are connected to each other in bus topology, the number of cables required to connect them is 1, which is known as backbone cable. So we see that if n devices are connected to a bus topology, then the number of cables, the number of channels which is required to connect them is basically 1. So you see that every device is connected to a single cable. So the number of cables required is 1, and which is known as backbone cable, and n drop lines are required. So obviously n drop lines are required to connect the n devices to that one backbone coaxial cable. And second is cost of cable is less as compared to other topology, because we see that here only one cable is required to connect all the computers, and the drop lines are required to connect the nodes to the coaxial cable. So here cost is obviously will be very lost in respect to the other topologies. But instead to build small networks. So basically the bus topology basically used to build some small networks for any large networks, a large number of computers, a large number of nodes. It will not be useful enough. So it will only be used to build small networks. Then there are some disadvantages also in bus topology. So first is if the common cable fails, then the whole system will crash down. So obviously we will see that overall system depends on the coaxial cable. All the devices are connected to coaxial cable, and the information transmits from one end to the another, from one device to another end by using that coaxial cable. So if that coaxial cable or the backbone cable fails, then obviously whole system will crash down. And second is if the network traffic is heavy, it increases collisions in network. So we see that here one cable takes the loads of all the informations from nodes 1 to nodes 2 from all the nodes. So basically it is heavy informations gathers to this table. So if the network traffic is heavy, then it increases collision in the network. So it increases the collision. So to avoid these various protocols are used. We will see about these protocols, these collision protocols in later videos. So now as for now, we can learn that to avoid these collisions in the lines in this backbone cable, coaxial cable, the various protocols are basically used in MacLear, that is POLR, StarterLR, CSMA, CD, etc. So we will know all of these protocols, all of these collisions protocols that is used to avoid the collisions in our later videos. So this is the basically bus topology. Now we will see the ring topology. So now we will see the ring topology. So in the ring topology, it forms a ring connecting the device with its exactly two neighboring devices. So we see that in a ring topology, all the computers or the devices or the nodes connected in form of a ring. So we will see in the picture that it forms a ring. This is the all the devices. This is station 1, station 3, station 4 and station 2. These are the devices. All the devices are connected using the it forms a ring. So we see that through which lines the stations or the devices are connected to the ring, that is called the drop lines. And there is a station that is called the transmitter or the repeater. So here all the stations or all the devices are connected by forming a ring. So it forms a ring with its exactly two neighboring devices. Suppose these stations only connected to this device and this device with two neighboring devices. Similarly, these devices are connected using this device and this device. It's two neighboring devices. So now there are some important points about ring topology. That a ring topology comprises of 4 stations connected with each forming a ring. So we see that this ring topology connected to 4 stations here, and it forms a particular ring. Suppose this device wants to send the information to this device, so it first sends to this device and this, and then that information is sent to this device. And when an information is sent to a device to the another device, then it holds a receiver IP address and receiver address. So suppose this device wants to send information to this device and it holds this device's address. So when the information is sent to this device, then it will take away the informations, and the information is received by this device, because in this information these devices IP addresses will be there. So one station is known as monitor stations, which takes all the responsibility to perform the operations. So here we see that this is the transmitter of the repeaters. This is basically the monitor stations, which takes all the responsibility to perform the overall flow of data flow operations. So now to transmit the data, station has to hold the token. After the transmission is done, the token is to be released for other stations to use. So we see that to transmit the information or the data, station has to hold the token. Suppose this device sends the information to this device, then this device holds a particular token of the information. Then after the transmission is done, then the token is to be released for other stations to use. Then it is released to in the channel to other stations to use. So when no station is transmitting the data, then the token will circulate in the ring. Suppose there is a token that is circulated in the ring and no station is transmitting the data. This no station is transmitting or receiving the data. Then the token will automatically circulate in this ring. And when this is one station wants to submit the information to another stations, then it holds that token, and the token holds the information and the IP address of the receiver, and then the token is sent to the receiver devices, and then it receives the information. So there are two types of token. Token will be early token releases and delay token releases. So early token releases releases the token when the transmitting data is done. So just after the transmitting data is done. So early token releases the token just after the transmitting operations is done, and delay token releases the token after receiving the acknowledgement from the receiver. So there we know that there are two types of tokens. So the first is early token releases and second is delay token releases. So the difference between the early token releases and delay token releases are that early token releases the information just after the transmitting operation is done, but delay token releases the tokens after it receives the acknowledgement from the receivers, that the receiver wants to acknowledge the sender that yes, you can send the data. After receiving the acknowledges, the token is releases in the circulate channel, and then it comes to the receiver. So now we will see the advantages and disadvantages of ring topology. So now we will see the advantages and disadvantages of ring topology. So first is advantages. So what are the advantages of ring topology? So first is the possibility of collision is minimum in this type of topology. So as we see in the previous topology, that is bus topology, that in the bus topology one particular channel takes all over the information load. So the collision is maximum in this type of topology, in bus topology. But in this type of topology, in ring topology, the possibility of collision is minimum in the bus topology. And second is cheap to install and expand. So as the less number of cables and less number of devices are required to form this ring topology, so it is cheap to install and expand. So what are the disadvantages? There are also some disadvantages of ring topology. So first is troubleshooting is difficult in this topology, and so we see that troubleshooting is difficult in this topology. And second is addition of stations in between or removal of stations can disturb the whole topology. So if we want to add the stations in the between two stations, or if we want to remove one stations, then it can disturb the overall topology. It can disturb the overall system, overall network flow. So there are another disadvantages. Suppose the one stations in between two stations malfunctions, so that affects the overall system. Suppose these stations wants to send information in these stations, so the information is has to be sent by this channel and by this channel. So but in the middle we see that this station is not working properly, so it cannot send the information from these stations to these stations. So if one station is not working, then the overall network system can malfunction or can disturb. It can disturb the overall topology. So now we will discuss the last topology, that is hybrid topology. So now we will discuss about the hybrid topology. So this topology is a collection of two or more topologies which are described before. So if we wants to connect two or more topologies in a network and wants to form a whole network, then this is called the hybrid topology. So in the hybrid topology, one or more topologies such as ring bus or star, ring bus star and mesh, etc. So one or more topologies, two or more topologies which are described before are connected, and that is called the hybrid topology. So this is a scalable topology which can be expanded easily, but it is a reliable one, but at the same time it is costly topology, because in this topology the two or more topologies needs to be connected together to form a big network. Then it is costly topology. Obviously it is more costly topology, but it is reliable one, and it can be expanded easily. So these are all the basics of the 5 topologies, that is mesh topology, star topology, ring topology, bus topology, and hybrid topology. So now in the next lecture we will discuss about the OSI model networking. So OSI model is very interesting and very important topics in computer networking subjects. So next we will start the OSI network model. So one of our friends, Rahul Sarkar, has started a new YouTube channel named VDS Support, and in this channel he gives lectures about the different subjects and different topics of dental science. So if you are interested in studying dental science or dental subjects, and if you are currently pursuing the BDS degree, then you can follow his channel. It will be very helpful and very interesting for you to understand all the subjects or the topics in the dental technology or dental science. So I will post the links of this channel in this video's description. Thank you for watching.